It's Sunday, May 19th, 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Printed out a bunch of articles today, jotted down a few notes. Feel free to comment on any of this. Again, this is just to reiterate what is happening to this decaying U.S. economy that we're living in every day now, and it seems every day it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, while the television tells us everything's okay. While the stock market goes up and the top 1% get wealthier and wealthier, the U.S. economy is being destroyed. Households, get this, earning $300,000 plus. This is coming from the Foundation for Economic Education. Households earning $300,000 plus a year are biggest beneficiaries of new student debt cancellation plan, Penn Wharton study finds. The president's 2023 plan put taxpayers on the hook for $475 billion with a B dollars, with another additional $84 billion being added to the tally, largely by canceling the student debt of some 750,000 households making more than $312,000 per year. This is absolutely outrageous. We are canceling college tuition debt from households that are earning more than $312,000 a year. So maybe you're a plumber, a truck driver, a police officer, a teacher, whatever. You're having to pay for this for people who are now doctors and lawyers, households earning over $300,000 per year. Who out there believes that this isn't going to be more inflationary? This is going to cause more debt, more inflation, and this is completely wrong. It's immoral. It's absolutely immoral. We cannot keep committing this financial suicide, ladies and gentlemen. The American taxpayer should not be on the hook to pay people's obligations. Next, we'll be paying people's homes who can't afford their homes, or maybe we'll be paying people's cars whose cars are getting repossessed or can't make their credit card payments. Maybe we should all pay for that. So the people who are paying their debts, the people who are going to work every day, paying their taxes, doing the right thing, they're being punished by having to pay other people's debt obligations. Let me know what you think about this. This absolutely infuriates me. Again, completely immoral. It should be completely against the law, illegal. I don't know how in the world they're getting away with this. I wish people weren't so busy watching baseball, basketball, and football games and actually really cared about what's going on here. People should be so angry that their tax money, which, my opinion, we're paying way too much in taxes and getting way too little. Now we're paying for people all over the world. We're paying for wars. We're paying for these college tuition bailouts. Where people are getting degrees and not having to pay for them, who are making over $300,000 a year. I mean, is this idiotic or what? Absolutely ludicrous. Here's another one today from Fox Business. Costco price hike. Popular items see unexpected jumps in cost. Well, one of the things that most people are seeing now at Costco are gas prices. You know, people that wait in line for 30 minutes to save 25 cents, maybe 50 cents a gallon. I don't know what your time is worth, but to sit there for a half hour to wait for gas while you're burning gas, sitting there waiting and burning up all that time, I don't get it. But gasoline's going up, olive oil's going up. They said here in the article that the Kirkland brand olive oil back in March of 2023 was $16.99 a bottle. Now today it is $24.99 a bottle. Their Gold Card and executive memberships they're talking about are going to be increasing. One thing that didn't increase is the hot dog combo. The hot dog and drink for $1.50. That did not increase. I had about 2 months ago, I had a hot dog at Costco. Shame on me. It is not the same hot dog that it was years ago. My opinion. Maybe it's the Costco I was at. But if you've had a hot dog at Costco lately, is it the same? Is it the same hot dog from a few years ago? I remember it being a lot better. I don't usually eat hot dogs at Costco very often. But the last time I had a hot dog there a couple months ago, it just did not seem to be the same from a couple years ago. Let me know your thoughts on that, or if I'm just, it's just me. I don't know. All right, another one today, wolfstreet.com. Subprime auto loans are getting messy. Everything in this economy is getting messy, isn't it? The banks lent money to people with bad credit. They gave them way too much. They lent them way too much money. These people had too much debt. They weren't paying their debts and other obligations, which caused their FICO score to drop into the subprime category. And so you had banks or certain financial companies that do these subprime loans lend these people money with bad credit, too much debt, not paying their obligations. Almost sounds like people with college tuition debt, people that went and got these degrees that don't want to pay it back. April, 5.23% of subprime loans were 60 days or more delinquent. This is the worst April on record. On record. It also went on in the article to say that people people that were 30 days delinquent, they were able to basically rescue their cars by using credit cards. So people now are hanging on by a thread, hanging on, fighting off the repo man by using their credit cards to make their auto payments. Very, very dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we're told every day, the economy is doing really well. The consumer's strong. The consumer's resilient. The consumer has lots of money. The consumer is not strong, resilient. They do not have a lot of money. They are tapped out and they're getting maxed out. And once they max out all their credit cards, we're going to find out just how strong and resilient the U.S. consumer really is. I mean, this is bad when you're down to going to the grocery store with a credit card and making your auto payment with a credit card. Think about where we're at right now. I don't think anybody has to be a rocket scientist to figure out this is not good. It's going to get much worse. And, you know, we talk daily about, you know, preparing for this stuff. And there's a lot of people that make videos out here, you know, going, oh, you better prepare, you better prepare. Well, how are you going to prepare? How do you prepare? Get yourself out of debt, work an extra side hustle, work 2 extra jobs, get yourself in the best shape you humanly possibly can get into. If you don't have debt right now, one of the best things you could do is not take on any debt. How about not living beyond your means right now? How about, you know, if you make 100 grand a year, live like you make 50. You make 50, live like you're making 20 or 30,000 a year. That's just an idea from me. If you have some disposable income, maybe you buy some real things. Maybe you buy some real assets. Maybe you buy some gold. Maybe you buy some silver. Get the debts paid off. Don't play around with these credit cards. Another word of advice today, if you don't need to use a credit card, if you can't pay it off at the end of the month, do not use it. If you need a credit card to buy something, you shouldn't be buying it unless it is a complete emergency. Stay away from this stuff. This stuff is getting people in big trouble. Here's one from the from NPR. Zombie second mortgages are coming to life, threatening thousands of Americans' homes. I will say this, beware of the con men, the scam artists, the pump and dumpers. They're all over social media. They make videos. They're as fake as a $3 bill. And as the economy gets worse, you're going to see more of the scam artists, more of the con men, more people trying to sell you garbage you don't need. And let me remind all of you, there is no magic pill. There's no magic recipe to getting in better shape. You have got to eat better. You've got to train harder. You've got to put in the work. You got to make the sacrifice. That's the only way you do it. I see these con men out here always trying to pump health products and pills, and they look absolutely sick to me. That's just my opinion. They look ill. They look sick, and they're trying to sell you something that is never going to work. Look at the people selling this garbage. Take a look at the condition they're in. Do you think these people are really preparing for what's coming? Look at the condition of these people. They're always trying to sell you something. They look sick. They're completely out of shape. They're never going to be able to engage with what is coming. They are just trying to make a quick dollar and trying to do it with fear, when what we should be doing is giving people the right tools in order to prepare for what's coming. Getting your body in shape, learning how to fight, being proficient with the tools that you need to protect yourself, owning real things like assets like gold and silver, getting your debts paid down. But it just drives me nuts that these people always trying to sell something. They look sick. They look completely out of shape. And these are not the people that are going to engage when things get bad, when the lights go out, when things get bad. These are not the people that hopefully they're not sitting at your table, because they'll probably want to eat all your protein, all your food. They're not going to engage in any type of fight. They're not going to defend you. They're not going to defend themselves. They don't have the training or the skill sets to survive. They don't have the warrior mindset. Surround yourself with warriors. Surround yourself with lions, not rats, ladies and gentlemen. You can take a look at these people. You know, they're as fake as a $3 bill. I will tell you right now, nobody's perfect. Nobody's 100% prepared. What I'm doing is I'm trying to walk the walk the best that I can. I'm taking hours out of my week, days out of my week to train, to get in better shape, to be more proficient, more efficient, and just have a mental mindset and preparing for what is coming. So I hope you're all doing the same. I'm just going to go through this article, paraphrase a little bit through here, with the zombie second mortgages that are coming back to life on NPR. This was fascinating. One spring morning 2 years ago, Karen McDonough was having tea. I apologize, Nugget is snoring profusely here with a power nap. She was having tea at her dining room table when she noticed 20 cars pull up in front of her house. She went outside to see what was going on. There was one gentleman with a clipboard. She said he seemed like the guy in charge. So she went up to him and said, "What's happening?" And the gentleman told her, "We're selling your house. Your house is in foreclosure, and we are going to auction it." She said that back in, I mean, could you imagine this? I mean, what a shock. Back in 2008, when the crash took place, like millions of Americans, Karen asked for a modification of the mortgage. Her mortgage company told her the second mortgage on her home was forgiven. She stopped getting statements for 10 years. Then recently she started getting phone calls, and she thought that this was just a scam. They were saying, "Hey, you need to make a payment on your second mortgage, yada, yada, yada." And she just ignored it, thinking it was just a scam and it would go away. Well, the loan came back to life. Her second mortgage came back to life. She's been living at this house now for nearly 20 years, making every payment. Many of these loans, the article says, got bought up for pennies on the dollar by debt collectors. They often tack on a mountain of retroactive interest and fees, then move to collect and foreclose on people's homes. I mean, this is very, very low. But again, beware of the con men, the pump and dumpers, the scams, the zombie second mortgages. People, you better really be paying attention to what is going on now, because there is blood in the water. People are desperate, and there are companies now that own this debt who are looking to capitalize now that home prices have gone way up from 2008. If a home gets foreclosed and then sold, there is plenty of money now versus back in 2008. The seconds never got paid. The first did. There was no money in these homes. They were selling for half off, sometimes even more than that. Now that, a home back then that was $175,000. Now today, that home like Karen's is like $6,000. Excuse me, $600,000. So they know that there's money to be made. Nothing is free in this world, ladies and gentlemen, except college tuition debt. So they're telling you, you got to make your car payment, your credit card payment. You better make your second mortgage payment now. Better pay that zombie mortgage because nobody's coming to pay it for you. But if you have college tuition debt, you make over $300,000 a year, the taxpayer pays for it. Karen's second mortgage was $73,000. Now the company, the debt collector, is trying to collect $184,000 on that once $73,000 second mortgage. They auctioned her home for $178,000. The home was worth $600,000. Now the good news is a nonprofit attorney stepped in and told Karen, "Hey, maybe you don't have to pack, maybe you don't have to move. Hold on a second." The attorney asked the debt collector for documentation and records. They had no payment history. So that is very, very concerning. So I don't know if anybody's had any experience with this. If you're getting any calls, maybe you better take this seriously. Maybe you better talk to a real estate attorney. Apparently, these debt collection companies are buying lots of these second mortgages very, very cheap. One portfolio had bought 9,000 loans for $6,000. That is less than $1 per loan. And so they're playing the numbers game. If they can just get a handful of these, if they can collect on a handful of these, they've made a lot of money. But I think that this is so low. Why is it allowed? Why is it legal? People have so many problems right now. You've got to be really, really careful out there of the scams. And not even that this is a scam. I mean, this is serious. These second mortgages are coming back to life, and they're going to try to get their money. And some people are probably going to lose their homes over it. Some may not. But if they have documentation, if they have records, you could have trouble. But fortunately for this woman, Karen, they did not have the proper documentation. They did not have a payment history. They did not have records. And so it's going to make it very, very difficult for them to collect on this debt. But what if they did have their papers? Then it would be it could be a different ballgame here. So very, very scary what's happening at the worst possible time where people are really struggling, where people don't have a lot of money. Now the debt collectors are coming for your home. U.S. State Department issues worldwide caution alert for Americans. More concern here. I mean, it just is getting more and more messy out there, isn't it? The agency warned Americans to stay alert in locations frequented by tourists. So multiple countries, the FBI and DHS said groups might seek to exploit increased gatherings and events right here in America. So you're really not safe anywhere. But I love when people go, oh, I'm going to leave America. It's going to get too bad in America. I'm going to go somewhere else. We had this conversation last summer with Bill Holter. If you're an American and you're traveling to another country, living in another country, you're going to look like an ATM. I think that a lot of people don't realize that when this economy goes down, it's going to take a lot of economies down. Globally, there's just too much debt. America has created so much chaos across the world, including financially, especially with the abuse of the US dollar, the petrodollar. When things do collapse, who do you think the world's going to blame for all of this? They're going to blame America. This is why they're going to go to the BRICS. But they will blame America. They're not going to really have a lot of I think respect for Americans. I don't think Americans are going to be too well liked. They're already not too well liked in most parts of the world. But if you're an American sitting somewhere in some third world country, you're going to look like an easy target. You look like an ATM. They're going to probably think you have money. And of course, if you don't, they're probably going to be upset with you because of what America has done to the world, sending the world into a global depression. So good luck if you're planning on moving. Maybe I guess if you go to, I don't know, Sweden or something, you might be okay. I don't know. I think I'm going to take my chances right here. Let me know your thoughts on that. NBC, 300,000 remain without power after devastating storms in Houston, Texas. Sunday, 2 million people will be affected by storms in Kansas, northern Oklahoma, southern Nebraska. I'm going to close with this one because it's a great reminder to always be prepared for anything. Be prepared for a natural disaster, a man-made disaster. Be prepared for an earthquake, a tornado, a financial collapse. Be prepared that your bank might not be open Monday morning. Be prepared that you might not be able to access money through your app on your phone, that the internet could be down. Your ATM's not going to function. You got to be ready for this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Most people probably didn't think that this storm was going to be that bad, that 9 people will lose their lives and create millions, or if not billions of dollars of damage. I don't know how much damage was done, but it looked like a lot. People think it's never going to happen to them, and then it does. So be prepared for anything. This is another stark reminder of how quickly a storm can roll in and do devastating damage. And it's not always just a storm or a tornado or an earthquake. We've got to be preparing for grids down, cyber attacks, financial institutions collapsing, another big bank collapsing, not being able to access our money at the bank or an ATM. We've got to be ready for these things. And of course, war is brewing all over the world. We don't know what could happen here. Look, the FBI and other departments are warning of possible attacks right here on U.S. soil. You got to be ready. So be paying attention to what's happening to the economy, what's happening around you, exercise situational awareness. Really be paying attention. I think that, we need to see more people plug in to reality and get out of their little bubbles. Forget the baseball games and the basketball games. There'll be time, hopefully, somewhere, down the road for this stuff. Our country is in big trouble. Why give these organizations your money or your time? First off, they don't like you. They dislike you. They're going to use your money against you. Take your money and your time and use it to invest in yourself and to protect your family. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Please like, share, subscribe, comment down below on anything you want to comment on, and especially share these videos. We are running out of time. You know something's about to happen. It could be a white swan, it could be a black swan, could be anything that is about to happen. But we have never been in a time in history where so much is happening geopolitically, financially, economically, and socially. We are really in a big mess. So be ready for anything. God bless.